it's Kevin again, and in this video I'm reviewing Sleepy Hollow, Season 1, Episode 6? Was it 5 or 6? No, Episode 6, The Sin Eater. Now, there was a specific reason why I was not reviewing this show. I basically got annoyed, and as you guys remember my last review I did of this, I was very annoyed by it. Reason is because they had this Monster of the Week thing. It wasn't doing anything for them. It wasn't going anywhere. There were no, big plot developments that were being made, and I was very upset because you had a very good show that had a lot of potential to have some really great plot twists and everything, and nothing was happening. It was just like, Monster of the Week, here you go. Here's some big reveal, and we're not going to ever bring this up again. That's literally what it was for, the first 5 episodes. This episode, though, I'm happy to report that is now gone. Because I wanted to start watching it again, and I heard there was, a big twist coming. I'm happy to report that in this episode, that whole Monster Week thing is done. We now have a recurring storyline that we can get into, and I'm very, very happy about that. So, I thought this episode was fantastic, by far the best episode of this season. Even better than the pilot, in my opinion. I think it was a great episode, and I absolutely loved it. So, the opening scene is pretty much like regular Sleepy Hollow, but this was a very dark episode. I'm just going to tell you guys, this was a very dark episode of the show. It wasn't really a comedic episode apart from the first scene. Most of it was just really, really dark, and there were some pretty big things that we found out that I really enjoyed watching. So, let's just get to the first scene. So the opening scene shows Ichabod and Abby at this baseball game. Abby is yelling at the umpire. Ichabod doesn't understand. Abby explains baseball is a symbol of what Ichabod and his people were fighting for. Ichabod decides to scream at the umpire as well, except this time the umpire didn't necessarily deserve it, and it was really funny and everything. So Ichabod knows the town. He's finally getting used to things, so he goes for a walk to clear his mind. Of course, he ends up at Katrina's grave. While visiting the grave, he gets tranquilized and kidnapped. We don't know why he got kidnapped, but for some reason he got kidnapped. And unaware of his kidnapping, Abby is driving along the road. Katrina chooses literally the worst possible moment to give Abby a vision of the Headless Horseman. And, Abby's been seeing these visions, but it's Katrina who's giving her the visions. And Abby's been seeing these visions of the Headless Horseman knowing he's back, but Katrina's the one who's giving her the visions. And Katrina warns Abby that Ichabod has been kidnapped and that the Headless Horseman will rise again unless they're able to stop him before sunset. She's found a way to unlink the spell that binds Ichabod and the Headless Horseman. She also states that the only person who can help Ichabod is the Sin Eater. Go to him and he will find Ichabod. And then, of course, when Abby returns from the vision, she almost gets into a head-to-head collision with a truck. So, that was a really big scene right there. Great big way to start the episode. I'm like, yes, Monster of the Week is done. I'm so happy about that because finally they're getting into why are Ichabod, Crane, and the Headless Horseman are connected. She knows how to break it, and they really didn't go into that in this episode, but we found out a lot more stuff about Crane, which I really do want to talk about. So, Abby tells Captain Irving that Headless Horseman is coming back. She also mentions Katrina being a witch and Ichabod and the Horseman being linked. She talks about how they need to find the Sin Eater, which will lead her to Crane. Captain Irving then lets her see Jenny to convince to help. She asks if Jenny has ever heard of the term Sin Eater, and Jenny thinks they need to move fast. Slowly after this, we learn that Ichabod is being held captive by these people, and Ichabod pulls a detective trick and discovers that the man is related to someone who signed the Declaration of Independence. And the man is a Freeze man who's supposedly on Ichabod's side, but they need to prove that Ichabod is who he says he is. This was really cool. I really like this story that they had here, that they didn't think Ichabod was Ichabod. They thought he was some crazy guy, basically. That's the main reason why they kidnapped him, because they think, but really they do want to help him, but they need to prove that he's Ichabod first. Apparently they've been tricked before, and Ichabod proves that Order by Chaos was sent in by a man named Arthur Bernard. A flashback shows that Ichabod is about to torture Arthur in order to get him to reveal who wrote a pamphlet, and is charged with treason. Oh, and Ichabod is working for the Redcoats. Katrina, Arthur's lady maid, gets involved, insisting that she treats Arthur's wounds, but she leaves because Arthur says it's okay. So basically, what's a Sin Eater? Every culture has a Sin Eater, has a version of a Sin Eater, because they have the power to clean someone of their sins, except they don't absolve you. They reach into your soul and eat your sins. Jenny was tracking a Sin Eater before, but he stopped doing what he does. Where'd he go? In a flashback, Ichabod had been interrogating Arthur Arthur for days to no end until one day he was standing watch at an execution being disguised by what he saw, stood up against it, and it was then that he saw the man he was reporting to was a demon. Katrina talks to Ichabod for the first time, telling him that his conscience is showing him what he refused to see. When Ichabod says that he's a demon, that he's seen a demon, Katrina states that he is the one and that he is a good man. Abby and Jenny find the Sin Eater. He's been taking the names of the dead inmates in order to hide. And the Sin Eater's real name is John Parrish. Now, apparently this guy is going to be a recurring character. We're going to see more of him, and I think that's going to be really cool to see. So that's definitely something I'm looking forward to, because I really like this character. He explains that he doesn't like seeing people completely and seeing their darkest selves, but he couldn't see himself anymore. But Jenny and Abby tell him that he has a responsibility whether he likes it or not. And Abby quotes the book of Revelation, talks about how the Headless Horseman is connected to Ichabod by a blood tie curse. She needs Henry to separate them. So basically it's a curse that they're separated. The way they're going to separate them, we don't really know. But that's how they are connected, is by a curse. We don't know who committed the curse, who did this, but it's a curse of some sort. So some sort of spell was put on, so does this possibly mean that that horseman possibly was a warlock? We don't know. Anything can happen in the show, really. Henry asks where Ichabod is, and he can only find if Abby's connection is strong enough. She says it's enough, and he has a vision of the tunnels underneath the town. Jenny and Abby go to find the doors in the tunnels. Then in the flashback, Ichabod goes back to continue their interrogation as Captain orders him to take him to the forest and kills him. While they're walking through the forest, Arthur tells Ichabod that he is special and Ichabod couldn't kill him. Arthur tells him that he needs to tell Katrina and she will guide him to Washington. When his captain shoots Arthur down, Ichabod stabs him in a fight and then he turns into a demon. Ichabod walks to Katrina where she takes care of him. Ichabod has proved that he is who he claims and finds that Katrina wrote the account for him and Arthur. The Freemasons need Ichabod to kill himself in order to kill the Horsemen, and it seems that Katrina has Ichabod's body from them, so they could not do it. So that's basically the reason they kidnapped him. I basically said this from the beginning, that what if Ichabod does kill himself or kills somebody, or if he dies, what's going to happen to his horsemen? They get separated. That's the only way for them to get separated, is for Ichabod to kill himself. Which I really like seeing this whole storyline. As I said, I like that they really talked about it, and I definitely enjoyed that. The Freemasons, okay, I talked about that. Jenny finds the door, and Abby forces her way in through pure sass, telling the guards they better not let her in. Abby tells Ichabod that she found the man who can separate their souls so that Ichabod doesn't have to kill himself. So now she's found someone who can separate their souls, you know, the Soul Eater. And Ichabod drinks the poison in the bottle to kill himself. Henry came to the sewers to save Ichabod. He says the reason he was given his gift was Ichabod Crane. And as long as Ichabod carries his sin in his heart, it allows the horseman to be tied to him. Henry tells Ichabod to summon Arthur. Arthur is now where Henry Parrish was sitting, telling Ichabod that he knew he would see him again. If Arthur hasn't died, Ichabod wouldn't have been able to fulfill his destiny. The way Ichabod can break the connection is to forgive him for letting Arthur die, and together he and Abby will fight the horsemen together, and with that, Ichabod's connection to the horsemen is gone. So that's what they have to do now, and then the final scene, we see that the Headless Horseman is back. He arrives at Ichabod's gravestone. And that's how the episode ended, and you know what? I was very impressed by this episode. Finally, they are done with this Monster of the Week thing. I'm very happy they have a recurring storyline now. Looks like next week they have to find a witch in order to help them. And it looks like the Headless Horseman is after them now. And we're definitely going to see where this goes. And I can't wait to see what happens next. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. Are you happy the Monster of the Week thing is going? Also with Ichabod and the Soul Eater, do you think they'll be able to separate their souls? Also, who put the curse on them? Why did they put the curse on them? Oh, what do you think's going on there? And also, the Headless Horseman, how did he get back, and why are these, we know why these two are connected, but why exactly did they connect these two? What's the whole thing there? Oh, that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.